say, at least one camp for Yoki, because I don't imagine him doing that well in this lane.
No, it's going to be a really rough lane directly. But yeah, of course, if he's just able to get to level 3 and then rotate back to the jungle, there's a ton of strats that'll make it work with. Venge and Shadow Demon are the most common dual stackers, and Wisp as well. But the Zeus definitely is capable, and we'll see if they have any plans along those lines. But yeah, I'm really curious how involved the Sky and the Zeus are on the lanes themselves, because these guys have a ton of harassment potential between the Arcane Bolt and the Arc Lightning spam. Until NIP pick up some magic sticks, they're going to be taking a lot of magical damage, and that's going to give Resolution and Silent the easier lanes.
The bounty rune is going to be going to Resolution here on the side of Empire. Era is going to grab the bounty rune at bottom. Limp is going to be playing the safe lane farming Slardar, something that we didn't quite note, but it's not terribly surprising with Era playing the SF.
If you look at Dire Vision real quick, did he mess up the ward here? I think he's trying to get on the cliff to actually give the rune vision, and instead he has this tiny, tiny cone of sight that doesn't really mean much.
What is that ward? I mean, like, how does it see over the cliff, by the way? I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's bugged. It honestly is. It's got to be like a terrain. If you like look at the map in Hammer, it's probably like a weird little position that's glitched out.
So that's rather weird. Ninjas and Pyjamas, they are going to rotate Seal Kid up to this top lane to help Yonosum get some farm. They're going to be running some dual lanes, and the Axe will be pushing aggressively up against the Juggernaut. At the same time, Seal Kid's going to be feeling the power of the Skywrath Mage with the constant spam out of his bolt. But I would say this is a fair trade-off. At least you're keeping the pressure off of the Axe, right?
So I'm kind of surprised Hanskin isn't going for earlier pulling, like the 113 pull, not going to happen. He's just focusing on zoning out Yoku, and that's okay. I mean, obviously you're giving the Slaughter the last hits in this early exchange, but it'd be better to pull back the lane and then zone harder to make sure the Sand King doesn't get to level 3. But at least as it stands, it's just going to be a good experience coming in, or good last hit coming in for Limp, but overall still experience to the Sand King.
Nice little body blocking there from Seal Kid will help Yonosum survive there, as I think he would have died if another right click came out from the Juggernaut with the Arc Lightning. It could have brought him at least quite low, but they do manage to survive. Health potion goes down, and now the Juggernaut no longer having that mana means that Yonosum going to be feeling a lot more confident to push aggressively as Silent is forced back once again. This dual lane seems to be working out pretty well, but the question is Yoki doing equally well as the off lane, as he's only facing one support? He's level 2, almost level 3 right now. Did they stack up for him? They stacked just the hard camp once.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny. I mean, it's a long road for a support to go all the way over to the Eastern Hard Camp, so at least getting one out there for him gives him something to work with. He'll return about the 50-second mark to stack for himself once, and that'll be efficient triple stack farming for him on the Eastern Hard. But, I mean, he's already got level 3. Like, his job is done thanks to the Lion not going for any stacking or pulling, but I kind of feel a little bit awkward that Hanskin didn't try to control the lane a little bit more. They can now push. That's a nice thing about it. Go for the tier 1 and take the Sand King out of the jungle, but it's still just not an ideal scenario as the off lane is not getting shut down.
How's our mid lane doing? Resolution sitting at 15-6 compared to Era 7-0.
Oh, yeah, he's until this point only had just 2 points in Quas and Invoke. Like, the fact that he's gotten this many last hits with no points in Exort whatsoever, it just shows a little bit of weakness here for Era on the Shadow Keep mid.
Yeah, kind of questionable how he's losing this lane. Of course, in SF, you can't truly shut him down, so even if he's behind a little bit in CS right now, he's always got the farm of the neutrals to be able to take whenever he wants to. Plus, he's not going to be ganked up, most likely, though. He may still go down. Era got the bottle just in time, and there's going to be no dive out from Resolution as he gets a bit of that recovery. But boy, is Resolution really just taking it to Era with that early phase boots that he picked up. All because of the early CS, you're able to get the faster set of phase boots, and that just continues to snowball you in lane as Resolution makes hit for hit trade-off worth it because he's got all that Quas region.
So the way I look at it right now, Yoki is going to win the Blink race between him and Yonosum. It's he's already gotten into the jungle, he's already Sandstorm creeps up. He's looking for the first blood. One spin will bring him very low, but I still think that Skywrath survives and gets to go back home.
They don't manage to get the last hit there. Aloha Dance secures the hard camp creep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Mid, Resolution drops quite low, double raises, almost gets him. But Era then hit by the tornado. It's going to be forced back. It looks like we're going to have a rotation, though. Yoki coming out of the jungle to try and gank up Era.
Yeah, and right now, Era does not know about this. Tanking's been missing for so long, there's no reason to expect him ganking at this particular timing interval, and yeah, I think Era's just going to be caught out a little bit here. Zeus is rotating around with him, though, and they want to make sure that if they connect with any ability, that SF is dead. But right now, NIP, they just have Era rotate to the safest place they can, which is closer to the line support, taking the DD rune bottom.
Yeah, that's definitely a great pickup for him. Top lane CS-wise, Juggernaut is, he's suffering. 15-5 compared to the 17-1 on Yonasan Fun. So the dual lane's definitely working out quite well. But we are going to see rotations. Yoki's going to come in from behind. They dare to try and cut past the tower, and it looks like they're going to pay for it. Yonasan Fun going to be caught by the stun out. The heals go down. Steel Kid is now going to be silenced up. They do have a lot of magic wand charges. Unfortunately, it's just not enough. Steel Kid silenced out for too long, is unable to get that shallow grave. They could have turned that fight. And they will give away first blood to the Zeus of all heroes.
Yeah, good silence, definitely, from the Skywrath Mage. And it does take a 4-man commitment, but they unseat them from the top lane, and you only have to really do that once or twice, and suddenly they're just going to go back to the jungle and not commit. But they'll go one more roundabout. Tranquil Boots complete on the Axe along with that magic stick, and of course the Dazzle still has pretty much full everything, mana and health, so he is still willing to commit here. Early Soul Ring pickup from Yoki is kind of interesting. I've seen the Tranquil Soul Ring build from a couple of key Sanking players, even the Pirate Sanking, the one who's played pretty much the most pub Sanking you can imagine. He loves that kind of builds where he's active in the early game, and if he's able to get some free burrows out thanks to those 2 items, then just kind of be involved in the lane and still win the Blink Rush against the Axe. I think that is overall a pretty good build-up. We're going to see that flank, and again, Radiant have no vision on the top quadrant of the map. This is going to be an easy kill, at least 1, maybe 2.
Yep, Steel Kid's going to be the first one found. Slowed down, Yoki is cutting through, gets the long-range burrow strike. He actually went to level 3 there, just to be able to get that extra initiation, and the Soul Ring definitely paying off, even if he didn't use it there. He'll now allow him to go back into the jungle and continue to farm up, playing, again, that aggressive style that you were talking about.
So, staying involved while farming the jungle, it's just a very efficient usage of time. Sanking's got a double stack, they're going to have a triple probably by the time he goes for his next Sandstorm, and yeah, he's going to have great blink timing, but still able to sustain his mana pool and doesn't have to constantly vary clarities, go back to base, stuff like that. Just it keeps him on the map. So not really worried about when his epi comes out so much as just when he overall can do the most at any point in time. Era, with both a double damage and a regen rune, kind of gets in a better position in this lane. You look back at the last hits where Era was struggling, now he's 42-6 versus Resolution's 38-13.
Yeah, he farmed up a triple stack in the jungle that the Lions set up for him, so that definitely got him back heavily into that game. And then, of course, the very lucky rune luck that he got with the DDs and a regen now is going to be able to buff that up even more. We do have Limp in the bottom lane. We haven't talked too much about the bottom lane because it's fairly boring. Without a Sand King here, it's just a free farm lane for Limp. Nothing special is happening. He did go for the upgraded treads, and we're presuming this amount of gold will go into a Blink Dagger to help out the top lane.
Yeah, Resolution TP top, he's looking for the Tornado. You connect with a Tornado, you get a kill, and it hits on 2, so maybe both of them will go down.
Yeah, another silence on a Steel Kid, great setup, and they try and go for more. In fact, they do manage to take him out with an Omni Slash being committed. Heavy amount of commitment there from Empire in order to get both of those kills. But at the same time, Ninjas and Pyjamas, sure they lose too, but they're about to get this tier 1 tower middle lane. It's going to be close. We do have Resolution making his way in. It's going to go into deny range here, and Resolution going to try and play contest here. Doesn't get it. Era's damage just a bit too great.
So that's the first thing that's really gone well for NIP this game. Other than just leading overall in last hits, they get that tier 1 tower, and that's huge. Because I feel like despite the space created, with 4 heroes first committed up top and now 5, that the bottom lane hasn't done much of anything. They're only now about to put the first point of damage into the tier 1 tower bottom. Like, it's 1300 out of 1300. I expected that to be pressured quite heavily, but as it was, they just wanted static farm for the Slardar. Now he has his blink, he makes his move, and they give the lane to the Lion to focus on his farm.
Yeah, I was wondering if Limp was going to consider going for the Vanguard build, but I very much agree that Blink Dagger is the better play here. Resolution not going to be caught out, obviously, during daytime. That vision into the side jungle is pretty apparent, so won't be able to make the sneaky play on him. But that does mean they know Resolution is the bottom lane. Perhaps the Slardar can TP up to top or maybe even go middle where you could see Era. Just without Resolution here, he is damn near fearless. He knows that Yoki won't have the Blink Dagger yet, so I guess he knows there's only 2 supports that can go against him, the Skywrath Mage and the Zeus, and those guys aren't really a kill duo yet.
I mean, if you commit the Lightning Bolt, then he just TPs away, and he's perfectly fine. The only time that he has to be worried about is the Sand King Blink Dagger timing, but that's still a little ways off. They see the Soul Ring, and that's 800 gold. It's not towards the Blink. Now, Giannis Fan actually going to get hit by the Burrow Strike. Not going to Sandstorm it against the call, but Silent walks right in, and the dodge!
He managed to get off the spin just in time. Limp is still looking to chase him down. Yoki's got a Burrow Strike up, though. Not sure if they could go for this one. Really farther down, Eric gets a couple of races out. Resolution hits the Tornado. They get low, jump in. Limp gets silent, so no stun out from him, but he gets a bash on the low hot dance, gets the kill. Calling Blade goes out. Now Jonas Fan wants some more. He always want to fly, but can he catch up? Era. Nuke 1 onto Yoki. Nuke 2 with the right click with a minus armor and double damage. An insane amount of damage coming out from Era. And that is going to be Ninjas of Pyjamas winning a fight, not taking anything else, but they do win the fight. They force Empire back, and they could probably take that tier 1 tower in the top lane, which is already so low.
Yeah, this should be pretty convenient here. It was kind of surprising that Jonas Fan didn't go for the Berserker's Call when he had the chance onto the spinning Juggernaut, but they just went for the Crush, thought that would connect, and it didn't actually work out. Now he gets a second chance. Tranquil Boots off cooldown, so he will get the call, but will he get the damage sufficient? It looks like he just realizes Call won't do enough unless the Blink Crush is there to follow, or maybe they just didn't want to commit onto the tower since the tier 1 was already secured. In either case, they play it safe, they farm up the Vanguard for the Axe, and this just kind of gives a good point of coverage where they have control of Empire's jungle. They just killed the Sand King, so he's still further from Blink, and that overall makes it harder for Empire to fight right now.
Uh-oh, bottom lane, they're going to jump on a low hot dance before Resolution is here, and that probably means no attempt at a return kill. Hanskin's low, too. It's just, well, maybe he gets him. Hanskin's going to rotate behind the tower here, and that's when Resolution's going to make his jump. 3 right clicks, or 2 right clicks in a Tornado, I guess. And Limp, who tries to get the stun out there, blinks a little bit too far, and Resolution will now... He's got Phase Boots plus Ghost Walk. He can get some extra movement speed out of that one. Limp, unless he's really lucky with the bashes, he needs a bash right now. Doesn't get it. Will be forced back. Invisibility rune picked up by Era. Actually immediately pops it. He's going to rotate around, perhaps. Meanwhile, top lane, Silent. Caught out here by the weave. Jonas Fan trying to catch up in order to get in range of the call. Does not have the battle hunger. Yoki's going to return this. He does have level 8, but no epicenter just yet. Still can't really force the fight. The call lands on a Silent, pulling him back a bit more, but Nip are not able to take it. Bottom lane, go back to Aloha Dance. The rotation around from Era. Couldn't find the Invoker kill, but it does find the Zeus.
Yeah, just Yule's and Blink initiation makes it so easy to pick off heroes like the Zeus and the Skywrath right now. And second time that Zeus has been away from the tower on the bottom lane. The first time, at least he had the Resolution backup, but in this case, any overstep and they're going to be punished. Now the ward comes out up to the plateau here, or even going past it. Hanskin going for an unorthodox ward gives some good vision in this general area, but the most important thing is it's not going to be as easily dewarded by the Zeus.
Yeah, typically if you're going to throw it anywhere, it's going to be on the 2 different plateaus, right? One tier 2 and one by the Roshan pit, but he chooses the in-between ward, which still gives pretty good vision. Didn't see Resolution come up, but I'm sure they know anyway. Tornado and the deny. Oh, wow, a creep actually got it there. Hanskin gets the Hex on Aloha Dance, jump in from Limp, quickly blowing up that one hero with Arrow coming in on the side. Yule Scepter, but he's silenced up. Can't go for the Requiem of Souls. Not going to be able to get that kill, and they are going to be forced back here. But still, getting the tower very luckily. I mean, I really thought that Resolution, from what I saw, he threw the right click and the tower died at the same time it landed, but apparently it was just not quite enough damage, and the creep was able to get it, so well worth it for Nip.
Yep, Siege Creep's OP. Cardio Catapult does it again, but yeah, NIP, I mean, they're doing really well as far as their early gold. Right now, over 5,000 in advantage, 3,500 experience, and when you have that experience advantage over heroes like Invoker, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. But finally, the Sand King does pick up his Blink Dagger. Soon enough, the Invoker will have his Orchid, and that's when kills really start racking up for Empire. So they still have some room to bring this one back, and we're actually seeing some word wars that will be engaged upon.
Yeah, jump in, call it a Silent. Can they pop him? No, Yoki gets the double one, and now Silent is going to be able to spin to win. Not going to be chopped down as EMP kills the mana of the side of Limp and Seal Kid. They're going to drop Seal Kid here. The heal goes out just in time, but I'm sure he'll still die. as Yoki blinks forward. Actually, Era gives him a little bit more room, but the lightning bolt finishes him off, and now Era's in some trouble. He gets a bit too close to the sun. He needs some TPs in. Lion's going to come in. He's got the opportunity, but doesn't make the jump just yet. Now Yoki comes in. Two-man burrow. That's a beautiful setup. Hanskin's going to go down. Era still left here. 5 seconds. The lightning bolt comes in. Not quite enough damage by itself, but Yoki, he's got the blink dagger. Never mind. The Zeus with the arc lightning is able to get the kill on the left-hand side. Limp, he came in, went for always want to fly, but Silent still got the Omni Slash. Nip ends up dying. Empire running over Nip after Nip member. Jonas Safan keeps on going, trying to go for Skywrath Mage, hoping to get the chop, but it's not enough. The quads build from Empire is taking him down. Jonas Safan does finally get in range, but the Shell Grave goes out. Jonas Safan surrounded here, should be going down. I doubt he's going to be able to get the call, sure enough. No way. Silent also picks up the kill on Dazzle. What was that? That was like a 7 for 2 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't even rack that all up. Everybody's dying on the side of NIP, some of them twice, and most of it I will have to attribute to the soul rings they picked up on Empire. The early Zeus Tranquil Soul Ring, the Sand King going for the Blink Soul Ring. They're just able to sustain their mana pools to keep the dives rolling. And NIP, the second they kind of got hit by that EMP, their fight broke down, they were in full retreat, and Empire just stepped on the gas. They're able to push so hard. And look at this. Now the Yoki's level 9. He picks up his point in his ultimate. Epicenter available, Smoke of Deceit, onto 2. They'll push the tower with 1 or 2 heroes, and they'll have the Epi and the Mystic Flare waiting in the wings.
Now let's talk about this build while we follow the Empire smoke gang. They're not going to find anyone immediately. Do you think he should have gone for Epicenter sooner because he didn't go for the maxed out farming? Like, his playstyle is just different from other Sand Kings, right? We've seen this a few times with a very aggressive Sand King, as you said. You pick up the Soul Ring, you roam around. Knowing that he's going for that kind of playstyle, do you think he should have gone for Epicenter a bit sooner instead of maxing out that Sandstorm?
I do feel that, but only in the context of the heroes he's up against. The Slaughter Crush, the Axe Call, the Earth Spike, a lot of different ways to cancel out that Sandstorm. He's not going to just sit there and cast the spell, and yeah, very sad for the Lion. But yeah, I feel like in this game you're not going to be channeling Sandstorm for a long, extended time. The Sandstorm really, like, it shows its value when you get to channel it for more than 4 or 5 seconds. And in this case, he's been channeling it for maybe 2 or 3. It's not bad, but it's not
kills. The kills, they gave so many kills to Empire. They allowed them to make a comeback. And now Empire going to continue this aggression now that they have the Orchid finished up on Resolution. He picks it up and he gets 2 immediate kills, and they're going to find even more. 2 people down on the side of Nip. They can go for extra kills here. Jonas Safan getting low. He's got the heals ready to go. Era sitting on the side with a double damage. Got the Vanguard reinitiation. Resolution needs to be able to hit the Tornado here. The damage comes out. They take out the Axe, and now they get the Yule Scepter on the Era. No, that was a self-Yule Scepter. Resolution trying to get away is going to be taken out by the Finger of Death. Plus the right clicks of Era. The rest of Empire now start backing themselves up. They made a trade-off there. They don't want to fight anymore. 7-15 in the favor of Empire. Gold and experience evened out, though.
Yeah, it's a tough kill for the Axe once he picks up that Vanguard, and he just got it off the courier there, but Era almost getting the Requiem off, getting silenced, and trying to dispel it with the Yules pretty much cost the same amount of time either way. But yeah, in the end, they get a kill on the board after all of this is said and done, and they don't lose that much in return. I feel that they're at least happy that they've kind of stifled the Invoker's momentum a little bit. Still, the Orchid's out, and as such, heroes like Lion, Dazzle are going to have a really hard time this game. Even the Shadow Fiend, not too happy to be under the Orchid Silence as well as the Ancient Seal. One Silence, I feel like their draft can manage against it and just say, okay, that hero's useless for a few seconds, but the other 4 will make up for it. 2 Silences, taking 2 heroes out of the fight, or doubling up Silences on 1 hero, it just completely limits how NIP can take fights.
Aloha Dance, he's going to be stalling up his Yule Scepter for a Midas, and he's almost got it too. Another 300 gold, and he will have that complete, so he'll start making a pretty good jump in net worth, going from that kind of hard 5 to an actual valuable core. Going in later on, jump in, going to be able to find Hanskin. Quick kill there. Jonas Safan, they slow him down with the concussive shot, but nothing more. Empire need to be careful here. Nice Tornado set up from Resolution. Limp. There's no way he wants to jump that one. Era, Requiem of Souls, being baited out. He's going to try for a go with big one, two-man stun. They do a huge amount of damage there, but at the same time, Yukurdu found the initiation. They're going to be forced back, though. Silent proves the spin, tries to get out, but another cooling blade chop. They go from hero to hero. Now it's Ninjas and Pyjamas' turn to be able to get kill after kill as they take one and wipe Empire one by one. What a call there from Jonas Samfon. Gets the double. And a 5-man wipe right outside the Roshan pit. The welcome mat is out there. You don't need more invitation to go straight for Roshan.
Yeah, and you see the things coming out. A lot of frustration from Resolution after that engagement. The Era hiding in the tree line there, getting the Requiem, canceled it once, waited for the crush to make sure that it was picture perfect, and he hits 4 heroes, 3 of them with more than half the potential damage output. Just a really good Requiem coming out of Era, and the raises following through that made their health bars evaporate. Followed it up with Crush and Call and Blink and Pursue, and it seems like anybody who gets just a single... As soon as the scales tip slightly, it feels like just a lead weight dropped down as they're able to pursue and run down their opponents on either side. We saw it from Empire earlier, running down the mid lane. Now we see it from NIP as they pursue with the Sword or the Axe. And anybody that just gets a little bit of momentum, gets one really good ultimate off to make the fights work for them, they're able to follow it up with kill after kill. Now the Roshan. Era has Aegis, about to have BKB. And NIP pulling out another comeback, it would seem.
Yeah, Empire just... I mean, they gotta feel if they go into Game 5 after losing 3 and 4... I mean, I was going into Game 3 talking about, like, the confidence of Empire. Nip gotta wonder, you know, how they're gonna be able to, you know, win any games here after they lost that Game 2 where they had such a big lead. But now it's gonna be kind of on the opposite foot. If Empire lose this game, they've just thrown away 2 different games. Game 4, I don't suppose you could say thrown necessarily because they weren't actually ahead at any point. They just managed to make a comeback. But definitely Game 3. Got to be some frustration over losing that one and killing the quick 3-0 that could have potentially been had. Era, he's got a BKB now on top of the Blink and Yules that he's picked up, as well as that Aegis. So the hard carry Era is doing a lot of work. You still have the utility and a bit of initiation out of the Slardar, who is going to be building into a BKB, and once he has that one, you could say he's a significant factor in damage as well. But for now, he's primarily just a Blink stun and the minus armor.
Really good execution as well. Era has been like using himself every time he's under any real threat. The Omni Slash against him was completely negated, even though he's getting chain stunned, and now the BKB on top. He's going to be able to react to these situations very accordingly. Still though, I mean, there is a lot of magic damage flying about. The Zeus is going to build up towards level 11 quickly with the freshly picked up Hannah Midas, and they still have some crazy nuke potential on anybody that's got the Ancient Seal. It's just not going to be the Shadow Fiend or the Slaughter, at least soon, with that BKB coming up. So who do you pick at this point? Like, if you get the Ancient Seal on the Dazzle and you nuke him down, great. But it still is committing 2 or 3 cooldowns just to kill a support. The other 2 are going to have BKBs, and Axe, he's got a Blade Mail. You're not going to want to throw all that magic damage at him.
Honestly, I don't know what you do as Empire here. I mean, you go for, yeah, like you said, you go for a pick-off here and there, but it's highly unlikely they're going to be able to find a good opportunity. As you said, the opportunities are few and far between, solely because these NIP members are quite farmed ahead of you. And you also have NIP who are probably not going to be splitting up too much, knowing that with a Orchid pickup on the Invoker, and that's one of the downsides of the Quaswex Orchid build on an Invoker, is that you show your cards, right? You're like, I am going for pick off. If you 5-man into him, he's not quite as strong as he used to be. He still has the Tornado and EMP, but that's about it, really.
Now, gonna see Jonas Samfon go for a little play here. Call will not connect, but the crush
silence.
Will.
I mean,
he only loses like 60 gold, but yeah.
I mean, he was dead anyway, but I don't know. Not hitting the spin there in time.
I mean, spin TP, you know, the call would still come through, you're right. So it's tough. It is tough. But I don't know. One thing I feel is just the draft from Empire isn't as strong in the later stage of the mid game. It's really strong around, well, it should be at about 20 some odd minutes. Here we are at 22 and they're losing. But in most cases, Empire's draft would be really dominant right now and only start falling off after the BKBs come out. And that's kind of going back to the draft a little bit and talking about the current metagame of heroes that are picked up very frequently for your solo lane damage healers. You got your Queen of Pain and you got your Lina, and that's because their ultimates go through BKB, assuming Lina has a negative scepter, which she should. So in that sense, like those are heroes that can still be very active in early and mid with their stuns and their nukes that are magic based, but still won't be just falling off completely when the BKBs come out. Empire don't have that. They have the Orchid Invoker, which, as you said, is all about pickoffs. Plays it kind of like a Clinks does, lurking around in the jungle. But if he doesn't find that because they're 5-manning around, then the BKBs come out and you're useless. Like your items don't do anything, your spells don't do anything to the heroes that matter, and that's just causing Empire to have some real issues in this game.
Mass initiation now on the side of Nip. They've got a Blink Dagger. Limp, Yonosamfan, as well as now Hanskin, all have Blink Daggers and are all going to be looking for that opening in fights. They do manage to take out the ward that spots their rotation. But we saw, I was following Resolution as you were describing him, running around looking for kills but not finding anybody because Nip were 5-manning. He was looking inside the enemy jungle, went through middle lane, still has not found anybody with this Ghost Walk timing. And is going to be trying to push out this lane. Empire, what do they do from here? They're going to go for a 4-man smoke gank. They might try and counter this bait. Resolution gets himself away with the Ghost Walk. They see Era right now. The rotation is going to come in time, but do they actually have enough damage? Era managed to make the blink away. Silent is there with the Omni Slash. They lead with a stun. Omni Slash, not even necessary. It seems they're going to be able to get this kill without a problem. Big amount of damage on the Empire members, but countered out by the healing ward quite easily.
Yeah, so a good pick off there. Just essentially, the NIP had no idea what hit them. They thought they were just going to go for a quick play against the Invoker and end up going up against a lot more heroes. But in the end, they still are going to be able to, I thought, retreat for Yosafan, but we do see now he's being pursued heavily. And now with the Cold Snap on top, you just can't disengage. You try to go man up a little bit against Yoku, but he's still running. He's still trying to get out, and that's just not going to happen.
Yoki, very nicely played. Like that quick rotation to bottom lane and then staying on the axe to make sure he never has an opportunity to be able to blink away before Resolution is there. And 2 quick pickoffs. Empire, this is what they needed. They needed that kind of 4-man smoke. You get 1 kill and then you continue to get pickoff after pickoff after pickoff. As you can see, Resolution might just find another one. Seal Kid is a pretty free kill if he has Cold Snap available or Hanskin. Yeah, slows him down. Yeah. Orchid, they do. Oh, Tornado. We'll stop the Grave for a second. They manage to get the kill before Seal Kid. Nice Cold Snap out from Resolution. Does have the Force Staff to get himself over the cliff. Limp is trying to close the gap here. But the Ghost Walk's going to be up in a couple of seconds, and that will obviously make Resolution fast enough to get away.
And it's actually the spell he had invoked was non-ideal for that situation. You usually want to open with Cold Snap and invoke EMP immediately, and that way with the Orchid, the EMP, the Cold Snap damage, that's your kill. But with Tornado, it's a little different, and he still played it marvelously, canceling out that Shallow Grave and finding the kill. Now DD Rune pops whilst Invis, and the Courier should be going down.
Bye-bye. Snowell, however you want to pronounce it. Oh, Limp. That was not the play. Now Resolution, whoop, gets over the cliff. We've seen Empire use that cliff all day, every day.
Yeah, it's been a cliff of death in some cases, but yeah.
Era gonna be able to find one here. Always want to fly, caught out in the middle lane by the Eula Scepter. With the help of Hanskin, the control is there to get the kill.
Okay, so the game plan here from Empire, they have to force BKBs. They have to find ways to fight Era as well as Limp. Get them to use Black King Bar in the fight, but minimize their losses. If they can do that 3 or 4 times, I think that they can bring this game back. But fighting up against 10, 9-second BKBs, they actually just don't stand a chance. So they have to really just choose their engagements very carefully and know when to call in the retreat.
Small plays like Yuki just pulled at that bottom lane is exactly what they need. It bought a lot of time for Juggernaut to push in the top lane. It forced 3 different rotations, and he still got out, pushing the lane aggressively, but not dying. And that will kind of split it up, right? They have to go TP up to top lane in order to, Arrow.
Yeah, he
forward,
sees the Ghost Walk.
He's got a BKB. Do you think it would have been worth it there to try and just like go onto Era in that situation just to try and force out the BKB, or too much risk?
He just Yules. That's the problem, is he has 2 ways to deal with the situation. He can just Yules himself to dodge everything, and it's just not going to work. So maybe if you had a Hex, sure, but with that, you're never going to force the BKB in a 1v1 situation on him. On other heroes, absolutely. Yeah, you would go for that play and just try to disengage cleanly if possible. The Slaughter, for example, that definitely is an option, because you'd open with Cold Snap Orchid, and the Blink would be on cooldown.
What's the build, by the way, for our Juggernaut now after Manta? Going the straight Scotty?
Maybe. Scotty and Abyssal Blade are the two to look at. Scotty obviously gives them a lot more durability, and they are. The ultimate orbs doubling up, and that's actually going to be Lion finding a pick-off thanks to the Axe Initiation onto the Invoker. So,
yeah, they get that quick kill. I like the Zeus ultimate being popped there, reading where Nip are going to move with that pick-off, and the answer is straight down middle. So they can go ahead and, I thought, heavily split push, but they're actually going to back up here and play
Epicenter. I mean, they have to make an epi play. Yeah, the ideal here is Yoki gets a surprise Epicenter and they get the Burrow Strike off with it. But if they don't get here in time, then yeah, it's useless if they're not split pushing.
Yeah, I mean, why is Silent pushing out bottom if Yoki is TP'd back? Why, the exact opposite question, the other hand, why did Yoki TP back if Silent was just going to split push? You know?
And why did they just lift their tower that was guaranteed to die anyways? I don't mind games. I don't know.
Empire just seemed to be not quite on the same page right now.
Yeah, not really playing well on defense is what seems to be Empire's issue right now. Like, they're great on offense. When they can start building momentum, get a couple of kills, they can turn that into a lot. But as far as like just playing defensively and trying to stop NIP from getting too much in a certain situation, it's just they haven't seemed to be very successful. But yeah, they build themselves up, they'll look for more gank plays, and they've got Omni Slash, Epicenter. I mean, even if Invoker like starts a gank and then fails because the enemy converges, that's convergence that the Sand King can use to dish out his damage.
So look at that net worth lead since we haven't seen too many kills. Just a couple of pickoffs here and there for Nip. Oh, do they actually get him? Omni Slash bouncing around. The Tornado goes out, holding some of these heroes in place. Yoki is found, forced that forward. Not going to be enough to save him. Oh, nope, not quite enough. Limp is able to get those kills. He's being right-clicked down quite heavily. In fact, his BKB fades. He blinks himself away. Requiem of Souls onto Juggernaut, able to finish him off. Jonas and Vaughn looking for more. Force that forward. Slowing down, always want to fly. That should be another pickoff there, as I don't think Resolution has anything to save him. All he's got is a cold snap right now. That's not even possible. So, Jonas and Vaughn, I mean, he's got nothing to worry about, right? Even if he doesn't get close enough to get this kill, there's no fear of reprisal at this point.
Yeah, there's really very little that Empire can do in this position. They started that off okay, bringing down the Axe immediately, and they did force him to buy back, but that's just it. You took down the tankiest hero, you committed a couple of good spells, and suddenly NIP are there to respond with everything they've got. A great crush coming out, a better Requiem from the Shadow Fiend against the Juggernaut, and yeah, there's absolutely nothing to stop them now from just taking the tier 3. Epicenter has to be smoked up pretty much now, and with the Sand King respawning, they'll see it coming and back off.
So they don't quite get the tier 3 tower, but they injure it low enough that the next time this happens, it'll be a quick kill and they can immediately go for Raxes. They've also established...
I want to real quick go back to the glyph that was used earlier, and they could have minimized almost all the damage on the tier 3, but...
Yeah. Seal Kid, whoa. Smoke pops, they're going to be able to grab on the right-hand side. Hanskin, quick kill there, no disables out from mid. Resolution, oh dear. Force Staff, not quite even wanted. They do have the Epicenter going down. BKB already activated. They leave Resolution to die. Silent, meanwhile, pops his Manta, going for Era, but can't quite get him yet. He does have Omni Slash up in 10 seconds. Seal Kid's quite low. Goes for that one. Easily gets it. Limp, though, is looking to be able to counter-initiate. The Manta is stopping his blink and stun. Will be able to stun, but Silent responds. Limp jumping quite low, but not quite low enough to get the kill. Meanwhile, Era does end up dying in the end, and nobody dies to that death animation. Farther up, always want to fly, always want to die, but he's baiting out Jonas some fun. He's probably going to go down here. Silent sees him. They get the stun onto him. They're actually going to try and go for this one. They get it too. The two-man stun out from Yoki. He's able to get a return kill, but Yoki's going to end up dying. Jonas Safan doesn't have the mana to be able to finish him off with the Culling Blade, but will right-click him down. Aloha Dance get that return kill. It's now support versus support. Lion is the first one to blink in the game of support chicken.
Yeah, crazy fight, honestly. Everything going down just back and forth, and with no... the only buyback committed was a Lion there, so I would actually say that Empire, despite the Zeus being the only one alive when the dust settles, are okay with the even exchange with the BKBs being exhausted. I don't think the Yoki played the Epicenter very well, but overall, the fact that the Juggernaut was able to get so much on the back end of it, he's finishing his Scotty in 100 gold, and BKB is at least one charge down.
Yeah, I would agree.
Baby steps.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, right? You can't just automatically assume that fight is going to go like, oh, 5 for 3 or something. We win it easily, and we go take Roshan. You're just a bit too far out of control, right? You're not necessarily that far behind, but as you said, when you start going into the later parts of the mid game, and it kind of feels like that point in time right now, Ninjas and Pyjamas do showcase a certain amount of strength with their BKBs, and that's hard to beat out as Empire. So the fact that they just kind of eke by in that team fight, I think is a good enough sign for them. I mean, they didn't even blow Omni Slash there. The ballsy maneuver there of Nip to turn onto the Juggernaut was a beautiful play, and the only reason that they actually came out even in that fight. Otherwise, it would have been a total loss.
Yeah. I mean, Hanskin buyback, he had to figure he wanted to use it, so goes all the way across the map to actually finish the job there with that double kind of initiation. The Slardar and the Axe, sometimes you gotta man up, and in this game with the nukes that they had, it was actually a really good play. But now they're kind of controlling this choke point really well. Like, this is a point of death for NIP to walk through, and Empire kind of showcased that a little bit in the previous fight, but essentially just all the AoE that you're looking at here, tornadoes, EMPs, epicenters, bouncing the Omni Slash, all that's a really bad thing for NIP to fight into. So this is kind of safe territory for Empire, and yeah, they're just going to keep on extending the play out, trying to drag things out. The problem is they're probably still going to be able to go for Roche. If they can just find a way to stop the epicenter, Roche is easy pickings for NIP, whether or not that choke point is dangerous. And they're actually just trying to loop around. They still have so much smoke left, so that although the Thunder God's Wrath scouted out the position of NIP earlier, they just draw on the map and say, we have enough time to still go for another movement. And while they're waiting for them to walk into the Roche bed, they'll scout it out, see nothing, and suddenly the initiation.
Yeah, Lohadan's going to be first target. Good force staff as a response. Omni Slash stays on Limp, but now bounces over to Era. They're going to be able to get the call to intercept. Silent now with all that minus armor. It's going to be blown up. The Requiem doesn't hit him. Silent is able to get off the healing ward, but doesn't manage to stay alive. The Tornado comes in with the interception, but not good enough. Yoki does have a stun up in 2 seconds. Resolution barely kept alive here. Fuel Scepter onto the Sand King. They could try and reinitiate if they really have some big ones between their legs, but Resolution is so low. Sure enough, he's going to go for it. Cold Snap. Couple of hits, follow-up, stun, and they are keeping themselves alive with that healing ward as well. The Juggernaut placed earlier. Era is actually now orchided up, Deafening Blast, and he's going to end up falling. Jonas Fun with the interjection, though, is going to be able to get the kill on Resolution. Now Yoki versus Jonas Fun. Well, I don't think this is a fight that's going to go anywhere. Neither one of them can kill each other, I don't think.
Hungers the creep to run a little bit faster. Yoku has Soul Ring and Magic Wand. He can actually look for it, but can't keep the Blink Dagger on cooldown. So it is a full disengage. Yoki, what are you doing, man? This is madness. This is insane.
Why? He has to hit like 5. He has to hit like 2 or 3 burrow strikes on Jonas Fun to bring him down. I don't know why he thought he was going to be able to do that, but Yoki just. I mean, there's a point where you want to be able to have some cojones and go for those kind of big plays, and it definitely paid out well in going for the kill on Era. Beautiful trade. I think that was well worth it, but at a certain point in time, you don't want to have like elephantitis of the testicles. You know, that's a bit too far. That actually is going to play against you.
Yeah, certainly. That is a way to put it. And yeah, I mean, I love the initiation they put on the SF because the Axe had just blinked away, and they saw it with their Dire Observer ward they had on the plateau. If the Axe hadn't used his blink to disengage, he could have just kind of hovered near Era and kept him covered. But 12 seconds is a long time for Axe to not be able to reinitiate with Call, and that's the time they needed to kill off Era. So really good conclusion of that fight for Empire, minus the sanction.
Silent is going to be called here. Ninjas and Pyjamas, great situation set up onto Silent. They almost lose Jonas Fun. Meanwhile, the Skyrim Mage dies to the Blade Mill. Tornado intercept, but BKB activated. Limp sees it coming. Omni Slash goes off. Going onto Limp. Can Silent actually disengage? Not in time anyway. Deafening Blast onto 2. Goes for the kill on Hanskin. Resolution, though, has the minus armor on him and is not going to be getting away from Era or Limp. They get 3 kills out of that engagement. And I'm not sure if Resolution, again, perhaps too aggressive, gets a pick off on a support, but loses his life, and now Aloha Dance can't get back to the base in time. Nip will now push uphill.
No, I mean, as long as they have the amp damage on Sand King, they'll know when he smokes up, they'll know that he's going to be looking for that epi, and they can walk away as needed. But it's just buyback from Resolution that's going to force them out of the base here, and they just go for Roche. That's still a very simple win for them, is they force a buyback, and they take the key objective. It's not as great as Tier 3 in Rax, but it's still a pretty good conclusion for them. And I gotta say, it's just mostly that they were too hungry to take the fight at that Roach pit with only like 3 heroes. They didn't have everybody respawning in time. They just kind of jumped into it, like you said, gunned down a support, but they're not able to prevent this Roshan.
Resolution, please calm down. Good God. Like, he's all by himself, and he just, like, goes in with a deafening blast. I mean, he's got to buy time, sure, but there's buying time and there's suicide bombing into the enemy. Resolution trying to get away from Limp, but going to be able to hit by the stun. Yoki's coming in. He has the epicenter to be able to intercept, but they've already lost Resolution. Limp is going to go down in exchange. No, the BKB Shallow Grave keeps him alive. Yoki ends up dying as Era now fearlessly blinks into the base. Gonna get another one. Always want to fly. Goes down. Silent. Fighting up against the Yule Scepter. The call's going to come out. Not quite in time. They are going to be able to get the kill on the side, though. Limp dies to the Manta Illusions. What? Era. BKB's on his way out. Blink away. And Empire trying to catch up. Aloha Dance on the front, trying to get that Yule Scepter. Gets vision. They still have the Omni Slash up. Yoki. They need to sit back, though. Meanwhile, they're middle lane. You got some Axe Illusions beating out the tier 3 tower. Missed call. Aloha Dance. Again, a bit far out there. Get the stun out of Yoki. Yono Sampan doesn't actually have a call or anything yet, but Yoki drops low. Not low enough. They back up. 34 to 31.
Now they've exhausted the buyback on the Sand King as well as the Invoker, but they hold their tier 3. Man, just look at this graph. I mean, this kind of depicts the game pretty well. Just ups and downs all over the place, but NIP holding an advantage and now just accumulating something far greater. Era still has this Aegis Immortal. He's now at level 23. He's going for the butterfly, and that should be the item he needs to kind of win this game out. But still, Empire, I mean, I just gotta say, settle down a little bit, guys. Like, these are good plays that are being made here, but the timing and the positioning is just off by a little bit. They're like going to an aggressive stance that's a level above where they need to be to hold this game. I mean, they still are in a tough position. They've got to be on the edge of their nerves right now, being, you know, 4 games into this match, but still, this is too intense. They are giving themselves away to adrenaline and passion, and as a result, it's costing them so much this game.
Adrenaline, yeah, in that case, you're talking about adrenaline. That makes Empire adrenaline junkies, man, because they're like, it's like they play the right play, and they go and they like are able to pull themselves back into the lead, not quite the lead, but to even out the gold, and then they just throw it away in one big burst, right? And Empire now, but behind by 5k, 7,000 gold or something, and then they pull it back in and they just throw it away in one fight. It just happens over and over again in Empire. I mean, there's only so many throw in the fights that you can afford to give away. At a certain point, Nip are going to be able to end this game off of the last throw that you do.
So, I mean, what's the last throw is the question. Like, where is this game taking us? We see an early weave come out. Not sure if they're going to ever be able to clash within that duration, but the chance of it and the mana regen, Dazzle's fine with it. But Thunder God's Wrath will scout out the smoke, and Dire had no vision here prior, so they know about it. They're pinging it, but still, NIP look to engage.
I can't believe they're sticking around this area for so long. Like, they know it's a smoke up. And always want to fly, almost gets found, slowed down, trying to get some distance, but he needs Force Staff help. They also need a Tornado Limp. Blink Dagger up in 3 seconds, but it looks, Era's actually going to make the jump. 2 shots, the Skywrath Mage. And now Resolution's going to be jumped on as well. No escape either. Hex on a Silent. And it's Empire, they're out. They are losing hero after hero. Silent tries to get away with a spin, but right-clicks. Manta not going to survive. The Scotty is just too much. He falls over, and Yoki, the Sand King, going to be forced back to the fountain with no buybacks. That's Nip. They may not be able to end the game in this 70 seconds, but they'll certainly be able to cripple the enemy to a point. Yeah, they have to go back and actually get the creeps because backdoor regen's still up. But they'll be able to cripple Empire, that's for sure.
I don't know if Nahaz is just bad luck for NIP or I'm good luck for them, but this is really just turned around. This match as a whole is just NIP showing that they're controlled, that they're collected and calm when it comes down to these engagements, and they're not going to scatter like dust in the wind the second a Zeus ulti shakes their initiation. They're still just going to go, commit, find the pickoffs, and now they're the critical ones. The 80-second death timer of the Invoker who bought back recently, the Juggernaut who just can't get back into the game, and the mid lane of Rax down, bottom lane default, and Empire on their last legs.
So what you're saying is I need to fire myself and have you and Nahaz cast the game for the most epic best of 5, game 5 ever.
He's throwing. Sign me up.
Alright, so Era starts going for the tier 3 in the top tower. They do make the jump onto Zeus. Yoki Unable to stop that one. Limp the BKB still strong enough. They'll get both sets of racks, and they've got Zeus down for 70 seconds. So this is going to be a 4 versus 5 fight if Nip choose to force it at the top lane as they start going for Megas. They've just lost the Aegis, though, and they may choose to play the more conservative route.
Yeah, I mean, with the lane of advantage, there's no reason to force the issue at this moment. They still have plenty of time where the Juggernauts Invoker and Sand King, they're kind of paying buyback. Juggernaut will be able to afford his soon, but in general, they can spread the map out a little bit to their advantage, and they take, even if they ideally wipe out NIP, how do they get all the way down mid? Do you just say, okay, we won, let's go down mid, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, good for fortification, against super, I don't know. It's just, it's so hard to actually take anything positive away from a team fight at this point in the game. Empire, and in the meantime, they're just on the defensive with their mates. It's extreme.
Blaze, I'm gonna call you back. Oh, Skype. Oh, Skype. All right. Blaze.
Hello.
Hello. You were kind of cutting it out. So
is it alright?
Just recall you. No, it doesn't sound all right actually.
Is it static or is it my microphone?
No, it keeps cutting out, so it might just be your microphone.
Okay, I'll try to reset it.
Okay, it sounds kind of good now, but we'll see. BKB up on the Juggernauts, but that's a BKB, not an MKB. The MKB kind of necessary to deal with Era, who has that butterfly and the stats of Scotty to back it up. So huge amount of EHP on this SF. Certainly got the damage, especially with amplify damage out from Limp. The Assault Cuirass as well now on him on the Slardar.
Yeah, I think I'm just getting so excited about this game. I like my desk and bump the microphone and wasn't too happy about that. But yeah, I mean, at this point, like, there's just so much for Empire to fight through. Even if they could make a fight, which in theory would be amazing for them, but even though it doesn't turn into or transition into actual objectives for them, they're still just purely on the defensive, holding on to their effigies and their tier 4s.
Ninjas in Pyjamas are going to wait out Roshan for a while. You may need to reset it again because it was still a bit iffy. You know some fun? He's got 4 staff, Crimson Guard, BKB, Boots of Travel. Guys, the world is his oyster right now. He's going to jump on a resolution with the Boots of Travel in. They could actually fight this one. Era makes the come in, and never mind. Good God, Jonas Upon just took him out solo with Blade Mail and all those creeps around him. Who needs Era? Carry Axe. 45.5 minutes in. They've got a full minute where the Resolution Invoker is down. Ninjas in Pyjamas. They don't need to wait for Roshan. They can just push in. Just wait for middle, wait for bottom, wait for some of the members of Empire to have to deal with these other pushes. They can go uphill and start beating down this tier 3 tower. Jump in, Yoki. They're going to try and burst down Arrow. They almost get him, but the Shell Grave is going to be enough to keep him alive. Now the Omni Slash bouncing around between the two tankiest of the heroes. Limp is dropping quite low, and maybe Silent can actually get this kill. Aloha Dan still alive, but the Culling Blade finishes him off now. But Jonas some fun. Chased down by Silent, but he's so damn tanky in the back, though. The rest of Nip don't really want to fight too much. Era is too low to really go for it. Rod of Atos on Silent. Pops out. Yoki managed to get the stun onto Hanskin, but they don't have any follow-up stuns. Doesn't seem like they feel confident enough to be able to grab it. Jonas Sampan, Era gonna pop the BKB, force-stabbing him in, but no! Era actually doesn't manage to get off a good ultimate there. I'm not sure if that was an animation glitch or what, but Yoki is now gonna be found as well. They right-click down the Juggernaut, they get the kill on Yoki. Empire, Resolution's back, and the buyback there is from the Sand King as well. Ninjas in Pyjamas not gonna try and force it just yet. They sit back. Still got Roshan up in 20 seconds if they want to, but what the hell happened to the Requiem of Souls? Did you see that, Blaze?
Yeah, I have no idea, honestly. That was weird.
There was no animation. I'm not sure, and I didn't see a burst of damage either.
If you get stunned while you're casting it, the second should still, like, you don't really wind it up again, and you just kind of explodes out of you. But it was still really weird. Now Resolution, oh, that's the one catch I couldn't afford, and I think that's pretty much GG. Oh man, this team fight just was broken down really. basically. If the Zeus had gotten his second ultimate out, actually Arrow would have died like 2 minutes ago, but the Zeus died, refreshed, getting killed, dunked down by the axe, and you know Arrow's been alive this whole time to finish the job. A really good game from NIP, and obviously just another great show of dominance when it comes down to those mid to late game team fights.